Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking all of the eyeshadow palettes that I tried in the month of November. If you like eyeshadow palettes, if you like ranking style videos, then please stick around for today's video. I have got 7 eyeshadow palettes to rank for you all. I'm going to first start at the bottom, least favorite, and work all the way up to my most favorite. So, coming in at number 7, this one is from Huda Beauty. This is the Khaki Haze palette. I wanted this ever since it came out. I just thought the color story was so pretty, but I did not want to pay that price point just because I know that these little 9 pans are not the same quality as her larger eyeshadow palette. So this I got for $5 during her Black Friday sale, and for $5 it's a steal. I love this eyeshadow palette. I will just say that the matte formula, it takes a little bit longer to blend. It's just like every look takes you a little bit longer. The shimmers are pretty, but you need like a glitter glue to really make them pop. But every time I use this, I really do like the look. It just takes me a little bit longer to get there. But for $5, are you kidding me? I really do enjoy it for that. And I think the packaging is nice. So overall, I am happy with that purchase. So coming in at number 6, this one is from Sydney Grace. This is the In Mel's Memory bundle. This is a Mel's version of her idea of a retro palette. So this is what the inside looks like. These are not from Sydney Grace. Those are a different brand. But these are the eyeshadow palettes, so these are the singles. The reason why this is coming in lower, the only reason is because I don't typically reach for singles as often as I would eyeshadow palettes. So there's nothing wrong with this quality. It's amazing. I love so much how many different looks you can get with this. The color story is so beautiful. I really do enjoy this. I'm kind of just like thinking of this just as like Mel's retro palette. That's what it's called in my head. So I'm very happy that I could like contribute to her family when I purchased this, because some of the proceeds went to her family. Love Mel, miss Mel, and I really do like this palette. I don't reach for it as often just because it's such a large palette. I just kind of like forget about it because I keep it with my singles. So I think I'm going to move it with my eyeshadow palettes. That way I look at it and I use it more. But the quality, y'all know Sydney Grace has an amazing formula, and I really do enjoy this. Coming in at number 5, this one is from Natasha Denona, and this is the Retro Glam palette. So I got this during the Sephora VIB sale. I really do enjoy this packaging. It's really nice because, you know, Natasha, her prices keep raising. So I like that the packaging is a little bit different than versus just like a solid color. As far as the formula goes, it's a really nice formula. I actually like this palette way more than I ever thought I would. If you are a neutral makeup lover and you want to like play with a little bit of color, I think you would like this palette because it's not too colorful. I really do enjoy every single look that I get with that, but just keep in mind that all these greens, they tend to look the same shade once you get them applied and all blended out on the lid. So I mainly can get just a few looks, just like a little handful, but those looks that I do get are very effortless, they're fast, and I do love them. And this palette, it's just like, to me, it just makes me think of winter, the cold icy vibes, and I love this palette. So I am reaching for it a lot just because I love the tones of it right now. And I do wish, the one critique I have with this, well, kind of like two, I wish that the mattes just went a little bit deeper. I wish that some of the greens had a little bit more of a variation, and these greens do tend to lean a little blue. Just keep that in mind. But yeah, overall a really nice palette, and with Natasha, I just feel like I just need a little bit more from her shimmers, but the matte formula is very nice. So coming in at number 4, this one is from Makeup by Mario. This is the first palette that I ever purchased from him. I got this during the Sephora VIB sale because I wanted both of these palettes, but I would not pay full price for either one of these. So I got them during the sale, which that's kind of like made me purchase it even more. But if you love basic makeup, I'm wearing this one today. I love this palette so much. It's very steep in price, so I'm just saying, if you do love natural makeup, I think you would really like this palette. I mean, you get what you get. All the looks are very similar. You don't get much depth or range with this palette, but I do like the tones, how there's some cools, there's some warms. Every time I use this, I love the look. This is a very timeless, classy palette. No matter what trends come and go, this palette will just kind of always look flawless on you. It will always like flatter you, and I just love browns, so this is like a perfect makeup palette for me. And I also do love these shimmers. They're just like the same color essentially, but they're just like a pretty sparkle topper. So just for like day to day when I don't want to think about my makeup, I just need an eyeshadow palette to like throw on a quick look. I reach for this because every time I really do enjoy the look. So coming in at number 3, this one is from Adept Cosmetics. This is the Minka palette. This is the definition of a holiday palette. Okay, so when you think of like Christmas, you think of glitz and glam and sparkles. This palette is the most intense shimmer formula I have ever used. These are not glitters, even though they may look like it when you get it applied. I'm wearing it today on top of the Makeup by Mario palette because this is like a super basic palette, but then I use this as like a topper to kind of like amp it up. Love this palette so, so much. The formula, like even though it's coming in at number 3, it's like number 1 as far as like quality. It is incredible. The shimmers are very squishy, wet feeling almost. These two multi-chromes right here are really incredible. Just such a unique formula. I love multi-chromes. If you love Adept, or if you like shifty, beautiful sparkly eyeshadows, then you would like Adept Cosmetics very much. I do have affiliate code. It is BRITTANYRAE. If you do decide to use that, I really do appreciate it. But y'all know I love Adept, and these two mattes really pair beautifully with all these. And also keep in mind that these palettes are magnetic, so you can just pop them out and put different shadows in here. But the reason why it's coming at number 3 is because I mainly use this as like a topper for different looks. I typically won't just go in to these shimmers just because they're so intense. But yeah, really a nice one from Adept. Oh, it's so pretty and I love the packaging. It's just like one of the best sparkly glitter toppers I've ever have in my collection. So I don't know, it's just very special to me. If I ever need a look to like amp up, I just top this on and I'm so happy with the look. So definitely a good one from Adept. Coming in at number 2, this one's a little bit newer for me. I've been testing it out about 2 weeks, but I've used all the shades in here. This is Rose Quartz from Huda Beauty. I did pick this up during her sale. I wanted this immediately as soon as it launched, but I just wasn't able to purchase it at the time. But honestly, this Black Friday, this was like the number 1 item on my list. Like if I could only pick one makeup item, I wanted this one right here. So the reason why I love this, these tones are so flattering on my skin tone. I love the muted purples and the pinks. I like the cool tone effect. All the shimmers are so stunning. They are breathtaking. And this shade Love Stone, which is like the more gel formula, I always use this as a base, and then I put the shimmers on top and it really amps it up. But all these shades play well with one another. They all blend flawless. Love this so much. I cannot stop reaching for it. It's just so, so pretty. So definitely coming in at number 1. This is from this is from Odin'S Cosmetics. You can no longer get this, unfortunately. This is the Merry Christmas palette. This was such an amazing release from them. Like, this is probably my favorite Odin'S palette that I have in my collection. So I know I kind of like group it with the greens and then the warm tones, but I have mixed these shades together and I love it every single time. Mixing the greens with like the reds and like the burgundy and bringing in this black, it almost makes it grungy. Sometimes if I mix like this shade and this shade, I can get like a super dark deep brown look mixing them. I love this palette. And let's just talk about the shimmers, because like the mattes are good, they blend well, they're very pigmented, amazing formula, but the shimmers, stop. Like, they are so sparkly. They are such a thin formula, but very impactful. They are shifty, and this multi-chrome right here, Elf Wish, it's like green right here, but it's peach and like super bright and fiery. I love this shade so much. Every single time I use this palette, I will go into this or this shade for an inner corner or all over the lid, but it just amps up the inner corner every single time I get a compliment. I really do like this palette, and I know that it's a Christmas palette, so they may not launch it again, but I think it'd be really cool if they did like a pre-order and they let you know like, hey, you're gonna get this palette in January or February or whatever. Do your pre-order, that way you know you got your money. And then make sure, that way everyone can get this palette that want to get their hands on it. So I think a pre-order for this palette and like the Christmas Eve palette would be a good idea for Odin'S, just so everyone can get the palette that missed out on it, because it was like quick release. It was like here, then it was gone. And I almost skipped on it, but I saw Patty Alonso's review and those greens. I was like, it made me think of the Natasha Denona Gold palette. But this formula is even better, so definitely glad that I have it in my collection. I love all the looks that I have with it, but definitely like this month, every single eyeshadow palette that I tried had an amazing formula, except for this baby right here. But all the others, it was such a difficult ranking because honestly, all these palettes, except for this one, could have been in the #1 spot. I just ranked this based off how often I reached for it, the different looks I could get, like the variation, the depth. So I hope you enjoyed this ranking. Let me know some new goodies that you picked up this month. It doesn't have to be new. Maybe they're old makeup items. Did you hit up any of these sales? I do have some hauls if you're curious. I have reviews on a lot of these palettes, but that's going to do it for today's video. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're doing well. I hope that you are healthy, happy, and safe. Stay beautiful. Bye, guys.